Hi and welcome. Today, and ho ho ho, and a bottle of rum, we're going to look at the advent of cyber 2021 on TryHackMe. So, I'm a day behind, so I'm going to record 2 videos today. The first task of advent of cyber and the second task of advent cyber. So first of all, I've entered the room called Advent of Cyber 3 2021. So, this is a really easy room to get started with. So if you're new to cybersecurity, this is a perfect way for you to start your skills in cybersecurity using TryHackMe. Get started with cybersecurity in 25 days. Learn the basics by doing new beginner-friendly security challenge every day leading up to Christmas. Already there's a video. I think that is for I think this room is for everyone, so non-subscribers and subscribers at the same time. The video here is with this guy, and he brought on a really interesting mask. So the very first task, which is going to be task 1, web exploitation, day 1, is in this room. I already did the first 5 different tasks you can do, and basically it is just reading and talking about prizes and certifications. You can win different things, about the social web pages TryHackMe uses, so you can do that, and subscribing, and short tutorial and rules to how to participate in the events for some of the gifts they're gonna find some winners for. And the story itself for this part here you can read. It's quite funny, so I suggest to read it. It's a small cartoon with Mr. Skitty, and that is the guy who created TryHackMe. Alright, so let's get on with the very first day of cyber, advent of cyber, day 1, web exploitation, save the gifts. So they do talk about the inventory management system used to create the gifts have been tampered with to frustrate the elves. It's a night shift, and Matt Stuckers come to McSkitty's panicking about the gift, all about built wrong. With no managers around to fix the issue, McSkitty needs to somehow get access and fix the system to keep everything on track to be ready for Christmas. Learning objective. What is IDOR? How to find and exploit IDOR vulnerabilities and challenge walkthrough. So, already now we are started. So what is IDOR vulnerability? IDOR stands for Insecure Direct Object Reference, and is a type of access control vulnerability. An access control vulnerability is when an attacker can give access to information of actions not intended to them. An IDOR vulnerability can occur when a web server receives user-supplied input to retrieve objects, file, data, documents, and too much trust has been placed on the input data, and the web application does not validate whether the user should in fact have access to the requested object. Alright, so it sounds like we have some sort of URL somehow, or some input field we can tamper with, so that's really good. How to find and exploit IDOR vulnerability. As previously mentioned, an IDOR vulnerability relies on challenging user-supplied data. The user-supplied data can mainly be found in the following 3 places. So, query component. Query component data is passed by URL when making a request to the website. Take for instance the following screenshot of a URL. So we have a URL right here, and it looks like we have some sort of parameter going on here called blah blah blah, profile ID, that's the variable, and 23 is the actual value. So for this particular URL, it basically would imply that I altered the number here to something else instead of 23. We can break down the URL and blah blah blah, you can read that yourself. Post variables is the second way, and that is by having an HTML field. Let me just zoom in a bit for you guys so you can see the HTML part here. So we have this HTML here, and usually you have some input, and sometimes you have hidden input fields. So in order to see those hidden values, you need to right click in your browser and show source, or view source depending on which browser you're using. Cookies is the last one, and that can be different kind of things. It could be in the actual HTTP request. So to stay logged in the website, such as this one, cookies are used to remember your session. Usually this involves sending a session ID, which is a long string of random, hard to guess text, such as this thing, which the web server securely uses to retrieve your user information and validate your session. So if you're logged in, you get some sort of key from the server, and this is you logged in, so that is identified as you're logged in. Sometimes though, less experienced developers may store user information in cookies itself, such as user ID. Changing the value of this cookie could result in displaying another user information. So there is an actual value here called user ID equal 9, and then you could, for instance, alter that to 5, and then it would probably result in something. This is hello Jon, and this is hello Martin, and that is exactly how it would work. Now it talks about IDO in the wild. Seeing a product, user or service identifying URL, otherwise it must be to test. IDO vulnerabilities can reveal sensitive information, as well as potentially giving you access to usually restricted site functionality. For security researchers, IDO vulnerabilities can be impactful, and reporting them can yield a good bug bounty. See this article where an IDO vulnerability report to PayPal had a $10,500 payout. So if you wish to do that, click the article and read about the IDO bug bounty, and basically you get somewhat the same information we just read. This is just a lot more advanced, but it has nothing to do with the advent of cyber. Day 1. So the challenge walkthrough. Click the green website button at the top right, task to open inventory management system. Here you find a mock browser. Alright, so they open a browser to us in the actual window. Let me just zoom out to 100%. And they say like there are also 3 other pages with navigation panel, build inventory and your activities. The build page shows different toys, the inventory page with individual items, and your activity page displays McSkitty's user information, photo, and the recent action of the system. And as we learned above, an IDO vulnerability, blah blah blah, and now they talk about probably to alter something in the URL. So that's a hint, I guess. It's a hint. Try changing the user ID, yes. So if you scroll down a bit, we can see we need to answer a few questions. So alright, so let's go to the top of the task and click the view site button. So that's the actual site. It's not that big on my screen, so let's see if I can change that. It seems that I cannot change it. Alright, so I need to basically, there we go. I'll zoom down a bit. So that is the actual web page, and this is instructions. So we go to, let's see, build. So this is the actual build. We have some text. I cannot click on it, so we're just verifying what do I have. Okay. So it's train base, teddy bear head, inventory. So same again, text and your activities. So as we see, we have the URL in the top, and we can now alter the actual parameters. 11, and let's just try to, let's say 12, and user not found. Let's say try 13. Okay, let's try 9, and now we get the Grinch, and I can interact with different buttons here, I see. So let's go down to the actual questions for this room. What is it we're going to do? We are interested in, after finding Santa's account, what is their position in the company. So we need to find Santa's account. Now we already know that the user ID can be altered. So let's just try with the very first one. It's a 0. Does that hold a user? No. Then 1. So we found Santa's account, and his position is the boss. So let's just copy paste that in and submit. That is the first answer, and the next question is, after finding Max Stucker's account, what is their position? So let's try and find Max Stucker's second user, third user. That's Max Stucker, and Max Stucker is the build manager. So let's just take that out and paste in. And the next question would be, after finding the account responsible for tampering, what is their position in the company? So now we need to look for some account that let's see, responsible for tampering. So let's look at the fourth Let's see what happens. No use on the 4th, the 5th, no. 6th user, 7th, no. 8, 9. So we have the 9th user, and it seems that that user did do something to the data. We can revert the actual action. Let's just see what is their position. I would say that it's a mischief manager. Without knowing this system too much, I'm guessing that is the correct answer. So if I press the button revert, I can undo the different things that the Grinch did in this company. So the Grinch probably hacked the system and did something. Alright, so next question is, what is the retrieved flag when MaxGitty fixes the inventory management system? So let's revert all the different things. And now I get the pop-up with the flag, quite convenient. And then I copy paste that in, and that is the correct answer. If you want to learn more about IT vulnerabilities, we suggest you complete that room. And since this video has nothing to do with that, I'm just gonna click completed. And tasks released each day get progressively harder, but are still guided with walkthrough videos. Come back tomorrow for second day's task completed. Alright, so that's gonna be it for the first day of Advent of Cyber. I hope you liked this video. If you liked the video and you like the way that I do the videos, please consider subscribing to my channel. Link, write some comments below, and I hope to see you again. Bye.